You're fine. Well, I appreciate the two ladies that showed up today.
I know, me
Thank
too.
you.
You guys, and it shows because you're doing some business, by the way. It shows that you're eager to learn.
Well, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I decided last minute I need my phone.
Well, yes.
Quick question.
Yep.
When I'm sending documents via Outlook to clients, does it, to clients, as
Yep.
I'm like, does it show up for both of them, or does it hit the first one first, and then when he signs it, it goes
No.
to the?
It goes to them at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Then check the email.
I did, I did Saturday.
Is it going to their spam?
Yeah, it could be.
A lot of times it's user error,
Yeah.
but then again, Dotloop can be a little, have little
You might
hiccups
check
every now and then.
spam folder also.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing you can do is you're welcome to create a document of some kind. It could be a contract of whatever. Add yourself as the buyer and just as a test so you can see what they're seeing. Send it to your personal email address. And then, so then that way, when you're talking them through it, say, okay, when you get in that email, it'll say start signing now. Okay, click that. It'll open it up and it'll show you where to sign. And then you can talk them through it because you know what it looks like on their end. And then when you're done,
We did all that.
okay.
This is my April client that I didn't submit. I did all the documents, uploaded them.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Didn't submit to Market Center.
Yeah.
Until Friday.
Okay.
Because I wondered, because I thought, well, we signed in April. I didn't get my little thing. It must not have been high enough. I didn't submit it to Market Center. Is
Okay.
that how it flags?
Okay, your April what? You had a closing?
No, I had a listing.
Oh, yes. Because we don't know about it if it just lives in your computer.
No, I know.
Okay. Well,
Also,
It's submitted with the one I just signed last week.
okay. Well, maybe it'll show up maybe it shows up when it came through. I don't know.
yeah, for Dotloop too, that's where you're questioning whether it got to someone. You can call the 800 number or 888 number at the bottom with that ID number. We have a premium account and they answer your call right away.
So yeah,
And
you can
they'll
always
help
call
you.
Dotloop yourself.
Yeah.
My client last week, I talked to him 800 times, and then I went over there to have her wet sign a couple of the documents.
Yep.
Sent all the documents for her to electronically sign. She said, oh, I didn't get it, and I copied her daughter-in-law, who's kind of walks her through stuff. She didn't get it. I said, well, it shows it went through.
Yeah.
Because it had me on there as can view.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was lost for
Is in the spam?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
They're looking on their phone.
Yeah.
Well, the son is an IT guy, so he went in and got on her computer, her actual desktop.
Yeah.
It was in there, but it wasn't showing up on her phone, so I bet it went to their spam.
Could go to their spam. And I think once they pull it out of there, I think it won't go there anymore.
If you click
Not spam? Okay.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Should
Glad
I
they found
give
it.
them the microphone when we're doing this?
We could. I wonder if anybody's even.
I don't know.
I can
couldn't
see. Let's see if we expand this. And then he's hidden my thing, which is fine. Oh, there it is. Okay. Do we have? I don't think we have any.
Nope. Or,
Nobody. It's oh,
oh
Yelena.
yeah, Yelena.
Oh, hello, Yelena.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Yelena watching. So all right.
Okay.
We can, and also for the sake of the recording, maybe we can share it with,
Yeah, I'll
when we do
share
have
it.
questions
so-
or repeat the questions.
Yeah.
We can do that too. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Now I need to, what do I need to do? View,
Yeah, we know when to view
exit
them.
full
Okay.
screen. There we go. And then minimize that. There we go. Back in business. Okay. No, you don't need to. The first thing I want to go over is, first of all, do you guys have, wait, we'll save questions for the end. How about that? but save your questions, whatever questions you may have. If you think of questions about personal things, clients, deals, listings, whatever. If you have got that, let's make sure we have time for that. But the thing I want to show you today is, as you're newer and feel like you haven't quite established yourself in real estate, you may be wondering, what should I be doing? What activities are going to bring me the best results? And so we came up with this activity tracker. And so the goal would be to get 50 points a day, 50 points a day. And you can see the point values, and those are each. So let's look at some of the activities and you can do to get up to 50 points a day. Call a new lead, somebody you've just met, somebody you met at an open house, somebody it's not already in your database. 5 points each. So if you call more than one, there's 10 points right there. Follow up, call or text with a lead that you've already spoken to. So those are people that you're continuing to kind of connect with, drip on, whatever. 3 points each. Do a handwritten note to a lead, a client, somebody in your sphere. Handwritten note counts 2 points each. And these are per day. And I might come up with a weekly total. I might do that. And I'm open for suggestions there. But if you choose to door knock or deliver any kind of marketing material, door hangers, see I had pop buys there, but I also included pop buys at the bottom. But anyway, so if you choose to go out door knocking, 5 points. Now, you have to talk to people to get the points. I mean, I know you're doing the effort and stuff, but just because you knocked on a door and nobody answered, that's not 5 points. Because it doesn't really, because if you think about it, I know you put yourself out there. I know you worked yourself up and you got yourself out there, which is great. But if you didn't actually talk to anybody, then it doesn't really move the needle on your business. Host an open house. You can count for a day of event. So if you do so obviously you can't host unless you're hosting open houses every single day. That's just the one day you do the open house. And I think I like that. If I'm talking out loud now, if I end up moving this to like a weekly total rather than a daily total, then that kind of makes sense, because you're not going to probably get 50 points 7 days a week. But on Saturday or Sunday when you're hosting an open house, that can go to help towards your weekly total. So I think I'm talking myself right into weekly tracking.
So 7 days times
7 days, yeah, it could be a whole week. So that way also, if you do check out for the day and go to the zoo with the grandkids, okay, well, just catch up, on your weekly total.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that. Okay. Attended networking events. So if you do the chamber, if you do the Optimist Club, if you do any other kind of networking clubs, or any sort of mixer, that's 10 points when you do that. Post a real estate video or a story, those are 3 points each. So if you do more than one per day, I guess. I don't know if you'd want to do more than one per day. But if we do the week, then if you post a couple times a week, that's 3 points every video. Engage with 5 people on social media. This is just good stuff we should be doing all the time anyway. Add a new contact to your database. Get their name, phone number, and email. Get as much information as you can. Again, the goal is not just to collect points. The goal is to move the needle on your business. Set an appointment with a buyer or a seller. A qualified appointment. It doesn't mean they're they're ready to go look at houses right now, but if you set an appointment that is actually not just coffee, not just shooting the breeze, but if you're talking real estate, that's 10 points. Conduct a buyer and a listing appointment. You could do, I don't know why I have 8 points and 10 points. They're both going to be 10 points. I forgot to get that one fixed. 10 points each, and that can be, as long as you're prepared and it's in person, it can be role play. Or if you're meeting with a buyer or meeting with a seller, count that as 10 points. If you don't have a buyer, don't have a seller, if you want to grab a friend and do a role play, 10 points. Preview 3+ homes in your market. You can go out and just preview homes if you want. I would recommend choosing vacant homes. Or if you're with a client showing houses, if you're showing 3 or more, 4 points. Attend a training and a coaching session. So let me take that one off because it's I kind of actually broke it down. Sorry, this is a work in progress. I'm reading it as you are. I was telling Sandy, I was like, I'm still tweaking it. It doesn't quite look right.
So you want to take it off?
Well, because down at the bottom, I have 10 different classes.
Oh, yeah.
So, and meet with
And
your
Market
coach.
Center, yeah.
Yes. So forgive me. I will get this cleaned up and sent back out. Practice scripts with a partner. That can be over the phone. That can be in person. That can be on Zoom. Practicing scripts with a partner is a really good idea. And it really could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. When we were doing Bold, we had to script practice every morning or every day. Every day with your person. And it wasn't supposed to take more than like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you were both supposed to do it. So it's like, good morning, happy Tuesday, here we go. Ring, ring, hello, hi, this is Sandy, hi, you know. And then you just do it, and then the other person does it, and you get off the phone.
It helps because you'll remember it when you're doing it in real person with people.
And we got to pick the script. Like, hey, today I'm calling for sale by owners, so I'm going to do my for sale by owner script.
Yeah.
And so you just told them, hey, I'm calling these people. I'm calling people from church. I'm calling people in my sphere. I'm calling vendors today. And you would just pick something, do a quick script, and then it doesn't have to be this long drawn out thing.
No.
And we'll script practice. Shelby called me the other day and she's like, hey, I need to script practice this with you. I'm like, okay. I was driving down the road and I was like, go for it. And so she was actually fighting for her commission with another agent from 2.5. They were offering 2.5. She wanted 3, and she wanted to talk that through with somebody before getting on the phone with the agent.
Do you know how it turned out?
They actually passed on the house. They end up, well, what happened was the buyers were, the buyers put in an offer, the sellers came back with a verbal acceptance, and Shelby put in 3%, verbal acceptance. Verbal, we know, doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
Well, what happened was before the sellers could sign, the seller listing agent comes back and says, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, the sellers are only paying 2.5%. And Shelby was like, hold on. We have a verbal acceptance, and my people are already working on wiring the earnest money over to your title company. We've already put this thing in motion. So Shelby went back to her and said, I really need 3%. And the agent said, no, I think. And then Shelby's people were like, you know what, if this is what they're going to do, we're not interested. Like, if they're going to be shady and say one thing and then change it and do another,
Yeah.
on the front end of this, we're done. We'll find another house. And so Shelby went back and said, okay, my people are done. We don't want the house. And they're like, really? And she said, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it at 3%. And Shelby said no.
Oh,
Her people said no.
that'll teach her seller, won't it?
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was the seller or the agent. Don't know. But they're like,
Should've been
really?
the
Like,
seller.
we'll pay it. We'll pay your full 3. It was like $1,800.
Yeah.
We'll pay it. And she's like, sorry. They said no.
It should have been the seller making that decision, not the agent.
Should
but-
be.
Yeah.
And I don't know who I don't know if the seller was or wasn't.
Yeah,
But
you never know.
so,
She told me about that on Saturday.
yeah.
We were at the Main Street
Yeah.
Festival.
Yeah.
And I think her client may be interested in this house I've got coming up. So,
Well, it
There
might
you
work out for
go,
you.
Yeah.
and I'll give her 3%.
3%.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, Shelby was fighting for her value, and those other people lost that deal over $1,800. And Shelby's buyers were willing to. They gave them list price. They gave them the move out date, which was like July 15th, so it was pushed out. Gave them that plus 2 days. Like, her buyers went above and beyond,
Mhm.
and the sellers were like, no, we want 2.5%.
Wow.
And so that cost them the deal. So hopefully we'll see what they get. It was a home and lease summit for $379 or something, so they'll probably get another buyer, but still, it'll teach them a lesson. So, okay, so let's see. Send a real estate email to your database. That would be like a smart plan. Send something out there, 3 points each. Record and send a BombBomb video. BombBomb is a service that you don't have to subscribe to.
Do you?
I don't,
Yeah.
because I don't. Because I do like it though.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a video from a lender and you see their face and it says click on this 1-minute video, or it might say 2-minute video, and the lender is giving, it's usually lenders, it could be anybody, but they're giving like a market update, the interest rates are this, that, the other, and it's in an email. So the video is embedded into the email, and that's through a service called BombBomb that you do have to subscribe to. I don't do it. I like it.
I don't either.
But I think
I've looked at it before.
I've looked at it, but I just don't want to add that money. I'd rather that money go somewhere else. I have to be.
Yeah.
So what I do instead, I like the videos. I'll record a video, personal video. I'll use the person's name. Hey, Susan, it was really great weekend. Hope you had fun, yada, yada. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm up to. Here's a video, whatever I'm saying. And I'll text it over to them.
Okay.
And so it does take a little bit longer to do that, but it's worth every one you do that. And what I find, my people really like it. Personalized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I try to keep it about 45 seconds to a minute. Like, hey, I'm working away. I am noticing that, I don't know, whatever you want to say. Interest rates are this, that, or the other, or I'm going through my contact list. I don't ever like to call it a database when I'm talking to people. I'm going through my phone book. Call it something.
Yeah.
I'm going through my phone book, and I realized we haven't connected in a while, and I wanted to say, hey, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing great. I'd love to learn to see if you have any vacations planned. Do something to start a conversation. And then I get a lot of good response about it. People are like, thanks for the video, Brandy. Thanks for taking time to send that over. Good morning. And so that's something that you can add to your list of touches as you're connecting with your people.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. You know who does that at a high level? Dan Odell.
Oh.
Dan Odell.
Mm-hmm.
He runs a big team, and as he's driving, he's making these little videos. Hey, I was just thinking of you guys. I'm really proud of you and the work you're doing. Like, whatever. He sent one to me and Caesar, and that's what he said.
There's another lender that does it at a high level. I can't think who it is. He does it all the time now. Look, it's not embedded in me, is it? But he does do it all the time.
It's kind of cool. And it just, especially when people aren't, like, we get that kind of stuff because people are trying to network with us, but the average person that's out there is not getting these videos. They're not getting these messages. They're not getting that like we are. And so that's what a BombBomb video, that, send it however you want. Meet a new vendor. Make that a goal to go out and say, I need to grow my vendor database. I realized I don't have a favorite roofer right now. I don't have a favorite plumber right now. Well, maybe find one. Ask Sandy, who's your favorite plumber? Maybe you like them. Maybe you'll like, maybe you need an HVAC person. Maybe you have one. Share that. But meet a new person and call them. Actually call them. Have a conversation with them. I'm in real estate. I don't have a favorite roofer right now. I would like to just visit with you for a few minutes, find out about your business, what you like to do, what do you specialize in, where do you work, ask these questions, and then,
possibly reciprocate business.
Yes. Yeah, and say, hey, I would love to send you business, and you know what? Maybe you can send me some.
Yep.
We're all out here hustling, trying to do the same thing.
They buy and sell houses too, those actual vendors.
They do.
So.
They do. And if it works out that you can meet that person for coffee or, a quick meeting, cool. Meet them here at the office if you want. Like, it just all depends on how deep you want to go.
Yep. And one thing I learned with have multiple vendors, like for lenders, because if you get real embedded with a lender, then they are no longer trying to get your business.
Yep.
And so they're trying to get other business. And so you don't get all the warm, fuzzy things like you used to, because they get so used to you and they know they've already got you. So an old broker we used to have here told me, always rotate your business, because then they're always going to want to try to get your business.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And that is something you need to do. Because when you need them, you need them. When you don't, you don't.
That's true. So if you don't have a couple plumbers, a couple roofers, you may not need them right now, but when you do need them, it's nice to have in your back pocket.
Yes.
It's great to have it. Hopefully you somewhere on your computer have a vendor database, or in Command even. Tag Tag the vendors. Put your roofer in there and tag him as roofer.
You remember the Love the List that's in the coaching program? I put it in there as a PDF, I think, and you can switch it. Amber actually made that years ago. And so you can go in and update it with your people.
So it's in our
Okay, cool.
coaching Facebook
Yes.
page.
group.
Yep. Okay.
Uh-huh.
We'll flush that back
Yeah,
up.
it should be in there. If not, let me know, but I'll look again too.
Okay. So vendors is definitely another way to lead generate. Attend a team meeting in person. If you're able to attend in person, 10 points. If you watch it online, 5 points. I understand that you can't come in all the time, so I didn't want to count it as a 0. And our dual career folks can rarely come in, but we want you in person if we can get you here
You get
in
more
person.
out of it.
You do,
The
definitely do.
interaction and all, you do get more out of it.
So, and then attend other classes in the Market Center. Again, in person, 10 points, online, 5 points, or on a recording, 5 points. Because also when you're working at home and you're watching online, you're probably doing at least 3, 4, 5, or 10 other things at the same time.
Yeah.
I know that because I am one of those people too. I've got the meeting on and I'm in another tab doing something different. So, yeah.
Trainings.
Yep.
The Tuesday or Thursday tech training, is that being recorded?
It will be. Yep. It will be. Last time they had one, it was just kind of like a brainstorm session with the committee going, what do we want to learn? What do we want to cover? So you didn't miss anything with that. And they haven't really, so this Thursday, they're doing one. Thursday at 2. I don't know what it's on. I'll find out. But so let me come back to the calendar. But deliver pop buys. So if you ever, think of something that you can deliver to their house. And by the way, I don't know why my brain got stuck because I'm like an all or nothing kind of person. And so I'm very black or white, and I do things all or I don't. That's just I gotta remember that though.
That's me too.
That I would rather, instead of just being, if I can't get it done and do it all, than just not, I'd rather do something. Do something.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get through pop buys because I thought pop buys were like to your whole database or your
Oh my
whole past
gosh.
clients. And I'm like, I can't
No.
do that. And so then I stopped doing pop buys for a little while. And then I was listening to somebody, they're like, hey, just do 5 a week. I'm like, I could do 5 a week. Because then you just take a little trip, you go drive around, you drop off a little something at their door, you take a picture. Well, hopefully they're there. If they're not there, but take a picture of it and send it to them. Hey, I stopped by, left you some goodies at the front. It could be go get a $5 log of cookie dough, bake it off, throw some in a bag, put your card on it, and go deliver it.
Okay, so one time, my little neighbor girl, and I didn't know it, I came outside and there was donuts. And they were all like gooey, gross,
Ooey gooey.
melted, and I was so like, because they didn't let me know.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh.
like really freaked out, and I was like, I do. So make sure like if we do that
Yeah,
y'all
put your
put
card on it.
business card in there and let them know.
Put your
You
card
can
on
do
there.
little popcorn things.
Yeah.
You know how you can get a Dollar General and you can get their 5 or 10 in a box? You can take them out individually and do these little stickers that say, just stop by to say hi.
Just
Or
pop
pop
by.
by to say hi.
Cute idea.
Yeah.
And just put, and that's not anything bugs are going to get into, or if
Yeah.
it sat there all day, it doesn't matter.
Just be
I
aware
mean, it
that
could be.
weather conditions.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Pop
true.
pies are fun.
Yeah,
I
if you're
feel
sending
like.
chocolate chip cookies, don't do it in the middle, or
Yeah.
chocolate covered strawberries, don't do it in August.
100 degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't send popsicles,
Or you can drop by a pen and
Yeah.
if you have pens or notepads or whatever, you can put them in a little bag and drop those by. Just
I
stop by and
like
say hi.
pop buys, and there's Facebook groups out there that
Do
with
'em.
lots of ideas on pop
Yeah.
buys.
Lots
Um,
of ideas.
so-
They're really good at it. They're
Yep.
savvy.
And if you're ever in the store and you see something on clearance, you're like, that could be a cute pop buy. Like, I know these weren't on clearance, but one of the groups I'm in, and I could not find these, but like the 5-gallon buckets at Lowe's, they're blue and they say Lowe's on them and they have a little handle, have a lid. They had little ones that were like this big, little
Oh,
Lowe's,
how
little
cute.
5-gallon bucket, but it was like this big. And people were filling them with like a little like stuff in the Dollar Tree, like a little
Yeah.
tape measure, a little
Oh,
level,
cute.
pen, like whatever, and then just took it, and it was just the cutest little pop by, probably
How
like
cute.
$5 each.
Yeah, but it's the thought, literally.
It is the thought that
And
counts.
I like miniature things like
I do
that.
too. It was cute. Anyway, and they were like 50 cents a thing, you know. And so if you do come across or clearance, like at Christmas, I like the popcorn buckets or the tins of popcorn. Sometimes you bought them at Aldi for cheap, and then throw my card on it and a bow and took it off.
And this
took it over.
time of year, you can do seeds. And I forgot what the saying was that goes with it.
Thanks
but
for helping my business bloom.
bloom
Your
or
referrals
something.
make my
So
business
there's
bloom.
little seed packets, and they're like $1.20 or something like that.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
Or
and-
go get a flower and put it in a cheap pot.
Yeah, and I know Nanette during like Halloween time, she'll get those little bitty pumpkins and put stuff and put it on their porch.
They're
Yeah.
so like we should have a whole class on pop.
Oh,
pies.
we should
Because it's
they're
like
fun.
Fun and unlimited what we can do. Obviously, we're
Uh-huh.
spending a lot of time
Wrapping
talking
paper
about.
too. Yeah.
Wrapping paper's great.
Yeah, how I wrapped up my year with
Yeah,
you. or
wrapping up a
whatever.
great year in real estate.
Yeah.
And you send them some Christmas paper and a
Yep.
roll of tape. But you
Yep.
buy the Christmas paper the year prior when it was on clearance
Yes.
for 50%
Yeah.
off or
Yeah.
75% off.
Yeah.
You'll see people like realtors go buy boxes of that stuff on clearance and they
do.
store it for a year. So,
Yeah.
But
You have to have
so
somewhere to store it.
pop
but-
buys, meet with your coach. I have that as the most high value
Points.
thing there. 15 points. 15 points to meet with your coach for a strategy session, some accountability, some troubleshooting, whatever we're doing there. The whole goal is stay connected to us. I'm so glad that you guys are here and Yelena's online.
Yes.
And because the better you stay connected, the better you're going to do. I'm
Yep.
a little concerned about our friends who came in. They were all here. We know who, I mean, I'm sure you can think of a couple that should be here. They sold one house. They got busy doing other things. I'm really worried they're not going to make it if we don't get them back in here.
It's the type of business you have to stay in
Yeah.
order to,
And
do more. Ooh,
You know,
do
when you
more
do have momentum, it's
business.
good to try to keep it. But we're all guilty of when we get a little excitement, we get it, we get a piece of business, we get excited,
Mhm.
and we kind of pull our foot off the gas because we're like, oh, I got a deal, we're good. And we got to realize, okay, that's going to close soon.
So your business will go like that.
Yeah.
That's what mine did. I can't even count me as a newer agent anymore because I've been full-time almost 2 years.
Well, I
I
consider,
did that.
Yeah.
yes.
It's very common, Glenda.
Uh-huh. But you stayed with it. You're staying with it.
But
But you are now.
But you are now, and you're fixing it, and
Yeah.
you're back in, and you got some stuff going. You got some stuff cooking in the pipeline. And so the goal would be, okay, great, but you all know what that feels like. We've all closed something now that when we work so hard, we get a transaction, but as soon as it closes, you wake up the next day unemployed again with nothing going
Yep.
on.
Then you got to get yourself
And you gotta
hired
start again.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. And it's better to try to keep the momentum and just keep doing these activities. Don't ever stop. And you know what? Could you handle 2 transactions a month? Absolutely. Could you handle 3? Absolutely. Can your bank account handle it? Yep.
And guess what? That's like 100,000 a year, just one. If
One
it's like
transaction a year?
If it's the commission's 10,000, yeah,
Definitely can be.
over 100,000 a year, you can do that. You can love that.
Some other things, you can call expireds and FSBOs. You must actually speak to them. Voicemails don't count. And it doesn't matter if they tell you to jump in the river or, hey, come on over. It doesn't matter as long as you speak to them. 5 points. And here's the reason why. I mean, with all these things, it doesn't really, we're not basing the points on the outcomes. We're basing it on the activities because every time you talk to a person, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
You're going to get better. You're going to learn something. You're going to find where you have gaps possibly. That happens to me all the freaking time. I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, I have a lot of answers for a lot of things, but every now and then I run into something, I'm like, I got to work on that.
Yeah.
Mental note, work on that.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
it's okay to say, I'll find out for you.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah.
absolutely. But expireds and FSBOs, maybe script, put those two activities together, script practice and then call some. You know, you've talked to FSBOs before. Have you, no, you haven't. I'm mixing you up with someone
They're
else.
fun. They're all about the money.
She likes
I've
them.
done
You,
it before.
you do.
Yeah.
And your expireds?
I have before, yeah. The commission's the main thing. They don't want to pay. That's why they're doing it. Or they want to be a realtor, one or the other. So I look at it like that, and I'll tell them, looks like you'd like to be a realtor to,
Yeah.
you know, get paid good money. You think you're
Yeah.
paying too much money, you know. But when they're all about the commission, but the first thing they're going to say is, what's your commission? And so that's when you have to have a comeback for them and just say,
That's a script.
yeah, there's a script for it. And if they find an agent who will reduce their commission, what do you think I'm going to do? You know, what do you think they're going to do with your money if they'll get theirs away that fast?
Mhm.
Or I charge 3% if I give one away. Whose do you think I'm giving away? Not my broker's, not Uncle Sam's. I'm giving away mine. Things
Mhm.
like that. So as long as you have those in your head, you'll be fine with them. And
Yeah.
they don't want the bottom of the barrel people, but they want the cheaper price.
So it comes down to communicating your
It
value,
does.
that kind of thing. So
They
that we
gotta
can
know
work
your
on
worth.
scripts for that, you know, and
Yeah.
learn strategies for how to call them. Maybe you attend a broker open or an agent open house. That's where usually they're on Tuesdays, usually, not always, but usually, and they provide lunch. They usually have some sort of a giveaway or drawing, and it's kind of fun to go out. It was fun.
Yeah,
We
it
went
was
out and saw
fun.
these $2 million.
I think they
2 points.
were.
How much were they?
Yeah.
$2.6
Yes.
million houses in Lake
They
Winnebago.
were fun. Yeah.
And yeah, we got to eat.
We didn't feel out of place. Yeah, our shoes didn't even
Well,
fit.
we were there. We were there with a bunch of other agents, and it's good to network even with other agents.
It is.
Like I was walking in, I hadn't seen some of these people. Like, oh hey, Brandy. I'm like, oh hey you. You know, and just catching up for a minute. It's good because we run into those people when you do transactions. And so if you don't know anybody, maybe you meet somebody.
And that realtor lives in that area that he got those. So
Yeah.
remember to be in your own area too, because those people sell and buy too.
And if
And
you're
they know
a
people.
new agent and you felt a little out of place, go with a friend, take somebody with you,
Yes.
but also just go act like you belong. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. Act like you belong because you do. Put on your little name tag if you want. Grab your business card. Always take your business cards because usually there's a drawing. They want your business card in. But go to these things, and if nothing else, walk through a beautiful house and listen. What are other agents talking about? What are they noticing? What are they talking about? What do they think the house is worth? What are they, noticing about the house that maybe you didn't? And so it's a great place to just be all ears. Be kind, you smile, you don't have to say too much, just go eat the free food, meet whatever vendor is there, the lender, the title company, whoever, meet them and just.
Yeah, I knew them, but I hadn't seen them for years.
Yeah, I just look at it as an information gathering, like I'm here to learn how realtors do this. What do they notice? What do they look at? That kind of thing.
And believe me, one team leader told me way back when I first started in this office, she said, you guys, it was a whole group of us, we were in a training, and she said, they just came back from family reunion or mega camp or something. And she said, guess what? Those agents that were on the stage are no different than any of you guys.
Right.
It's just their activities that create the difference. That's it. Because they're just like us.
It's true. Now, our job as coaches is to not only give you the activities, but get you prepared when you do the activities. Because it's not just about quantity.
Checking a box.
Right. It's not quantity, it's quality. It's both. And if we can help you with scripts and objection handling and all that kind of good stuff. Hey, Miss Nanette.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, you're here. Well, let me get you a copy.
Josie, hi. How are you?
We're just finishing up, kind of going over like an activity tracker for lead gen, or just building our business. And The goal would be, right now I have it at 50 points a day, but I'm changing that. I don't know. Well, let me finish. Are we done? I have one more thing at the bottom and then I'll
Do a
jump back.
CMA.
Do a CMA for somebody.
Mhm.
So last week on Wednesday, I did a lead gen power hour here with Glinda and Laura and myself, and Ryan came. And one of the things I did is I was calling people that had been in their house for a while, or one man I called, I used to take him and his wife out to look at houses, and then they just decided now's not the right time. So they kind of put their search on hold, and it's been like a year and a half. Well, I've been staying in touch, and I was like, hey, well, maybe I'm thinking to myself, like, what would jumpstart him to get back in the game? They were in the game, they were pre-approved, they were in, just couldn't find what they were looking for. And so I thought, well, what if I tell him how much his house is worth? Because his house has never been worth more than it is right now. Maybe he doesn't know that. He's been in his house since 2011, 14 years. He knows what he paid for it, but he might not know what it's worth. Let me do a CMA for him. So that's what I did. So I was able to do a CMA and tell him what I think. Now, I always put this little caveat or this little disclaimer in there to say, I've not been in your house, or I haven't been in your house in a while, but I have never been in his house. I've never been in your house. So what I can do is I can study similar houses in your neighborhood. I can get you a range, but if you want my range to get tightened up or get a little more exact on the price, I would need to come out and take a look. So that's my way. And if he invites me, I know he's more interested. If he invites me, I know he's more ready. But if he's like, no, just a range is fine. We're not really, and that's what he told me. He was actually in a really bad car accident at the end of last year, and he's still going through a lot of rehab and physical therapy and out of work. But he is still thinking about it. And he's like, if the right house ever came along, we'd go.
Does he have a 2-story?
He has a split entry in Blue Springs. A split entry.
Yeah.
So
he may need a 1-story at some point.
Yeah, he might.
A ranch.
He's still a young guy, but he's, car accident, when you're hurting, you're hurting.
Changes things.
And that's the thing, you never know what it's going to be in somebody's life that does change for them. And so, yes, they wanted to move. They still want to move, but if the right thing came along, they might pull the trigger right away. Whereas he told me, we're not ready. Well, when the house comes along or an accident or some sort of life-changing event comes along, all of a sudden they're ready. And that's why we stay in touch with these people, even though they tell us, I won't be ready for 5 more years. My kid has 5 more years till they're out, and then we'll be ready. Well, you never know what will happen.
Right.
Don't just count them out and go put them on your calendar for 5 years or 4 years out, because something will happen, could happen, and then they're ready to go. Have you seen that happen, Nanette, in your life? People will tell you. And if you don't stay in touch.
Because what I learned in real estate school right out of that, buyers are liars.
I have heard that, yes. I've heard that.
Buyers are liars. You don't take what they say seriously.
Yeah.
You just keep tapping on them and keep being front of mind, because life changes for all of us
It does.
And
every day.
the words, I'm not in a hurry.
Yep.
Take heed, they are. They are in a hurry.
They may not be today, but they may wake up tomorrow with a job promotion or a
Yes.
job demotion, or you never know. And so that's why it's worth staying in touch, and don't write these people off going, they're never going to do anything.
Or they just bought a house.
That goes into my head
2 years.
all the time when I'm out with people and they're rattling off what they're not gonna buy. I hate splits. I'm not buying a split.
And they
Don't
buy a
even show me
split.
any splits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they buy a split.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or they have to have a fence.
Yep.
Really?
And that's the thing. And
$7,000
sometimes they don't mean to be liars.
They're not. They absolutely.
They don't know what
that's
they want.
That's exactly right.
Till they see
don't
it.
know what's gonna happen to them. They don't know what they can buy with their money when they first start out. And
Yeah.
so the whole time they're talking in my ear, I'm just like, okay, we'll see.
Right. And you just keep,
Yeah.
mental note, but keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Keep dripping on 'em, keep taking them, keep showing them, keep. And then as they go along, they're like, well, you know what, the split entries actually aren't so bad. We can get more house if we do that, as opposed to a ranch for the same price. Like, maybe that's not so
You walk
bad.
in and there's a wider split.
Yeah.
You know, it's 6 feet or
Yeah.
whatever, those wider splits that have full staircases going
Yeah,
up.
those are
It's
nicer.
easier to get in the door.
Yeah.
It's not so
Yeah. Yeah.
turning around to close
Yes.
Yeah.
coming in behind
And
you.
tripping over shoes at the
Yes.
same time.
Mine's kind of like that, it's so small.
Yeah.
If I ever get another house.
You know, I was watching online something, coaching thing at some point, and they were saying to Zillow. So put their house in Zillow, see what it comes up with, and if it looks like it would be good for any of your clients, send it to them and say, would you move if you could get this, somewhere around this, and see what their reaction is.
Yeah.
So if they react, they may be a candidate, like keep, hovering around.
So that's
them.
something you
so.
can offer that's of value. If it bothers
Mhm.
you, and I will say CMAs take a little while to do. So don't
do.
just be filling your calendar with a bunch
But
of
those
those.
Zillow pictures don't take long to send.
Yeah, that doesn't take long. But back to this, if you worried about providing value and calling these people, like, first
Yeah.
of all, they want to hear from you. They do, or they don't mind hearing from you. How about that?
Yeah.
But if you offer the CMA, you're coming with value, you're coming from contribution, you're coming to bring something, not come to get something. And like I said, it might actually be that that's the thing that tips the scale. They go, oh, I didn't know values were up that
Mhm.
high. Yep, absolutely. Your house has never been
They're
worth more.
shocked,
It's a great
usually.
time to sell.
Yeah.
So, and then just see where that lands. Then, so you send it. So you have a conversation. You offer to do the CMA. You do the CMA, because don't offer if you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it in a timely manner, don't offer it. But I got this man his CMA, and then we called to follow up. What did you think about that? Now, I will tell you this without having seen the house. I like to ask, what do you think the house could be worth? Because I don't like sending a range that's
Yeah.
way low and he thinks
Yeah.
it's way high. He now thinks I am not the realtor for him. He doesn't like what I've just crunched, and I've never seen the house. So
And they
just be
know
careful.
what they want for their house, by the way.
And
They
maybe you
know
can get
what-
them to where they need to be, and maybe you
Mhm.
can't. But at least you know how to guide or shape or craft that conversation gently. So it doesn't just, because otherwise people will just, they could just cross you off going, nope.
Yeah.
So that's our activity tracker. And I'm open, Sandy, if you, I know this is the first time you've seen it too, but if you could come up with any other activities that you think we need to
Yeah.
include. What do you guys feel like a weekly total could be?
That would be 350 if
So
if
350, but we all don't want, I don't want to work
300?
7 days a week.
No.
How about
5 and follow up 2 days a
5?
week because that's what it'll do.
5
It'll
times
create
50, 250 points a week.
250 because it will create work for you.
Yeah. And then you got
which
to
is
service
what
the
you
business.
want.
So 250, and if we just, 250 per week. So you could sit down and do a lot of that in a couple days. You can spread it out through your whole week, however you choose to do it. It just helps you stay focused. It kind of gamifies it a little bit, make it a game.
I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
Just to
Yep.
kind of see if it's reasonable, maybe.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
be
do
able
that.
to
Let me know.
these. Yeah.
Let me
I
know.
will.
I'm a dual
Well,
career agent, so
I'm doing it anyway, these things.
Yeah.
So
Get
might
some
as well
points
add
for
the
it.
points.
You're a dual career agent too. So what are your points if you're a dual?
Well, I had 30 points a day if you're dual career, so that would be 150 points a week. But since I'm creating this on the spot, I'm kind of open. I want to make it attainable. I don't want.
Yeah.
I want to make it a little bit of a stretch, but not so much that you can't.
You're like,
Right.
not even gonna try.
I'm like, oh,
Right.
forget that.
Just try. That's
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to help focus.
Yeah. So
and
pick up the list and go, what do I want to do today? It's a little menu.
accountable, and then I have something to tell my kids.
Yeah.
Mom literally will ring. This morning with my father. So after this, I'm going to cut his hair. Different
Yeah.
things. But like every day, it's like, what are you doing?
Handwritten
So if I
notes.
can say, I gotta do this first.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'll get in trouble. What's our punishment? What's our punishment?
Grounded. You get grounded.
Yeah.
That's what I keep secretly hoping I get grounded to my room.
It'll be helpful, because it's real easy for me to get sidetracked, especially if one of my kids or somebody, there's always somebody needing something.
So we
Good
should
thing I
do
don't have
check-ins with her. We should do weekly check-ins with her, even if it's on the phone, just to say, hey, how was your week?
Yeah.
And give you permission to block out some time for your business.
Yeah.
That's probably something new for you, is to say, hey, this 2 hours belongs to me and my business.
Because the fact is, if we don't work, we don't get paid. It's that easy. And the same thing when we're a realtor, we have our license and we think, I'm gonna have to go get a job. Well, what you're in essence doing is you're going to tie yourself up for 8 hours a day with somebody who's paying you. But by the way, if you would just tie yourself up for an hour a day in real estate, somebody would pay you.
That's the key right there.
That's the key.
People run out and go, I got to go get a job.
You don't have, this
Okay.
is your job, full time.
And now you've
mean,
just obligated yourself 8 hours a day to a company to make
yes, to make
$20,
them
$25
money.
an hour.
Yeah.
So you need to change your mindset on that.
Yes,
Sandy
ma'am.
and I struggle with that too. I mean, she's raising a grandson.
Mhm.
She has a daughter and a son and a husband, and
Yeah, we do a lot
Flip
of things.
houses and all
Yeah.
kinds of
my
stuff.
daughter, counts on me to do a lot of things for my grandchildren, and I have parents, my mom still. So I have to protect my time, because they think since you're a real estate agent that you really aren't doing anything.
Right.
If you're not working, if you're not, out showing houses, then you're available, right? So, again, it's changing your mindset, it's blocking your time, and then protecting it. And not, when you get the phone call, you don't need to go cut his hair right now. You don't need to do that. His hair's gonna grow just a little bit.
Yeah.
Protect your time. And I say, when they ask me to do something, then I tell them when I'm available. Because you do work another job as well. I tell them when I'm available.
And they don't like that till they get used to it.
They have to get
And
used to
I've
it.
really struggled in the last 3 years with that. 'Cause I've
Yes.
Well, you got 2 great resources right here.
We struggled with it too until it was wearing us out. It wears you out. It like sucks the life out of you.
You're trying to do all this
Well, I've
and all
almost given
that.
up
And
so many times because I'm like, I can't do this because of all these.
So you
people.
have to put the people, they have access, they have so much access to you. It's called boundaries.
I'm not good at that. And I even took years ago.
Mhm.
So I changed the word boundaries to access. How much
I like that.
access is this person gonna have on me? And how
Yeah.
much
I
access
am
is this
learning.
person?
It's hard.
And if it's on
Well-
my calendar, I protect it. I do not let them interfere with it. Unless
Well-
there's blood or someone's dying, we'll change
We'll
our
talk.
calendar.
about
I
something
did do
different.
this morning because my dad called this morning and he was coming to Harrisonville and he was gonna come by and I said, I've got class. So,
See,
and I'll just come down later.
you know what I found?
So I did really good because a lot of times I would have been like, oh, he's driving all the way.
Do you have that where, you have your mother, so
It's hard.
Linda has her mother that she has to care for, so you
hard.
can't really tell her.
There are no boundaries there.
So-
But otherwise, you can protect from other people coming in on your business.
And you'll also have to learn that from clients because they will do the same thing. So you have to make sure that they know they can't, even if it's a hair appointment and somebody's like, well, I want to go see that house at 10. Well, my hair appointment is at 10 and you know it, but you don't want to say, oh, my hair, I got to go do my hair. Well, you have an appointment. They don't have to know that it's for you.
You have an
do
appointment to
with
be here.
yourself.
You have an appointment to work your
Yes.
business. You have an appointment, whatever.
Yes, whatever it is.
I changed, I wouldn't tell people I had a class.
Oh,
I
no.
changed my verbiage, like Sandy's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell them I'm going to my son's soccer game
Nope.
or my grandson's soccer
I
game,
have an
'cause they don't-
appointment.
They're like,
Okay.
they don't
Cancel.
understand that.
No.
Right.
I tell them I have an appointment, and I do. I have an appointment with my grandson.
Yes.
He's gonna be there. So.
That's a
change
big
your
thing
verbiage
to-
You have an appointment.
Yep. And
That's
until you do it, people will
This is when I'm
take your
available.
stuff.
And it changes the way you look at yourself. Instead of I'm the gopher that will just run and pop everywhere everybody needs me.
I'm
Mhm.
tired.
Yeah.
This is so true.
It's true.
I have rearranged so many schedules.
No.
Okay.
You don't
I'm
have
just like,
to.
oh my gosh.
We need a meeting. You and me need a meeting.
Mhm.
Seriously. We have an appointment. We're going to make an appointment.
Okay.
We're going to have an appointment. because I've got some thoughts about that. You are worth it. Your business is worth it to set
Mhm.
these boundaries and the access, and I want to work with you on that.
And you can make a lot of money in real estate. You can.
And you deserve to make a lot of money
Yeah,
in real
you can
estate.
schedule real estate work just like you've scheduled your boss's time at work.
Do you,
Same
do you
thing.
still work at the thrift store? Okay.
Oh,
I work
okay.
with Mr. Benny.
Okay.
You work at what?
I caregiving.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that you had switched. Okay, so Mr. Benny, does he give you a schedule that he needs you, or how did that work?
No, he has Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So his daughter is kind of
Okay.
one of his daughters.
Well, just as you would prioritize those appointments, we're going to prioritize real estate.
Yes, you got to.
We're going to.
So how many days a week do you go to take care of?
Right now, I do just a 12-hour, I do a 12-hour day and then as needed.
But then you schedule that 12 hours and you tell your family.
Oh, they all know, everybody knows.
And they're good with
And
it,
so
right?
they don't bother you.
He has
Then do
Alzheimer's,
the
so,
same.
but then I had, I said I
It's
started.
not
doing-
whether it's a good enough an excuse or
Right.
not. It's not whether it's a good enough excuse. or
It's
not.
have you told
This
them
is
you're
when
busy?
You have an
Yeah.
appointment and you cannot do for them.
And they know that.
And until you decide that's what you want, then they're gonna keep doing it.
You're going to be a puppet
it so
on
much
their
better.
string.
And on Tuesdays, I started, let's say 2 hours. And that's like nope.
Okay, good.
See?
So
Good.
that's something that I.
There you
definitely-
go.
So I'm getting better.
Yes, you will.
And you know what? Here's the other thing. You actually will help your family
Yes.
in the process.
Yep.
You think you're helping them by doing for them, but it actually, by putting some of that back on them, it actually is better for them. So
And
there's
it
so
is
many
for
thoughts
sure.
here. Yeah.
It is. I mean, I've had to tell my granddaughter several times, I can't take you at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. Sorry,
Mhm.
I have an appointment or I have a meeting.
I'm getting a lot better.
It's hard
I have a
to
ways
do
to go.
with
Well, we will celebrate the wins, and
Yep.
we will be behind you, pushing you in this direction.
It's hard for me in
It-
the summertime if somebody invites me to go to the swimming pool. They have a private pool at their house and they invite me over and it's in, 11 o'clock and I have something on my calendar. I could switch it because that's very enticing for me,
Yes.
but I don't. I'm like, nope, I gotta do my business. I gotta work that day. I can't come that day. I can come this day though.
Yeah.
So,
Or that day, this day or that day.
it's until you decide, it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna let you off the hook. They're gonna keep you on the hook as long as they can.
I know.
And my daughter will let me do as much as she.
So will
I'll
mine.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
For her.
So
All
will
right.
mine.
Well,
That's
we
fun.
have about 5 more minutes. Sandy, did you have anything?
No?
Obviously, there's Agent Kickstart behind me.
I need to get back on that.
Yes.
Get back on that.
Yeah.
I should put that in here. That's what I'm going to add.
Oh, yes.
Agent Kickstart.
Oh, how many points do we get for that? Make that a bunch of points. Yes, and I'm.
5 points per module.
It's so
Okay.
easy for me to get sidetracked, which I think we're all probably like that if we aren't careful. But how much is it?
5 points per module. So you could sit there and do a few modules and get some points.
Yeah.
I got sidetracked. I was doing really good.
Yeah, we're still 63 that have
63 that have signed up.
showed up on our list. Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't all done anything though.
Here's our.
Me, I'm one of them.
Okay. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. That is not good.
You need to be honest.
Yes, Miss Mary Beth. Yes.
We don't celebrate, we don't,
I know.
You need to be honest.
and we don't celebrate non-success because she's not been successful
Here's-
getting on here.
Here's the
We don't
thing.
celebrate that.
The human nature wants to be, we want to find the path of least resistance. We don't like discomfort. We want out of discomfort as quick as possible. And here's something I've been chewing on. It has nothing to do with real estate. It has to do with, honestly, my walk with God and some things I'm working on spiritually with Him. And this is when trials and tough times come to all of us. And it's what we do and how we respond in those moments that decide, is this going to be the thing that breaks me down, or is this the thing that's going to propel me forward? And this, so I spoke to the ALC, and I talked about how adversity is actually a privilege. That when you are in a time of struggle and a time of hard times, hardships, that's actually an invitation to a life upgrade, depending on how you respond. And so,
Yeah, it can lay you out, or it can help you.
And so it's like because I love analogies, the analogy that came to me is a loaf of bread. When you take a loaf of bread that you have either bought frozen and let it thaw and rise, or you made it and it rose, and then you have to stick it in the oven, and it's hot in there and it's not comfortable in the oven. But if that bread doesn't go into the oven, it's not edible.
Editable? Oh no, edible.
Edible. It's
You're
not
right.
edible. You can't eat it. And
Can't fix it either.
and if you pull the bread out of the oven too soon, it's still not worth anything, and it's going to go in the trash. So you actually have to put it in the oven and leave it there, and let that heat of the oven actually change the bread from dough to bread, something you can eat, something you can serve, something that nourishes you, something that feeds you. But it only comes when you stay in the hot place and you don't run out. And so that's what I've been chewing on this. And I'm like, so when hard times come, there's not enough money, there's not enough whatever, this relationship is broken down, whatever it is, because we're obviously more than realtors. But whatever that thing is, if we won't run, don't run from the pain. Sit in it for a minute and go, there's something I'm supposed to pick up here in this. There's something I'm supposed to learn in this. I'm going to be different if I hang in there and I endure and I find a way through. It's one thing if you take the quick exit and avoid the traffic jam, or if you sit through it and figure, you learn things in the process. You either win or you learn. None of it's a failure. None of it's a loss.
This is like yesterday's church service, because it was really talking about thanking God for.
Yeah.
Because it draws you closer and makes you stronger and you learn.
Well,
and that's so strange to think about. Thank you, Lord, for the trouble I'm in and the circumstance I'm in. That's a hard thing to do.
it is.
But that's exactly what you're saying.
But that's exactly what. But if you don't go through the hard times, you're not going to gain the muscle, the tools, the training, the whatever you're going to gain. If you don't go, if I never go to the gym, I'm never going to build muscle. I may want it. I may, do some positive affirmation. Yeah, I can learn about it. I can go to classes about it. But until I get in there and do the work, and I endure the resistance, the adversity, I'm not gaining any muscle.
Nope.
If I don't move and get into action, I'm not gaining it. So all that to say would be, and I may talk about that tomorrow for a minute during team meeting. Don't run from the pain.
And
Lean in.
stick with stuff. Follow up, that's where all your money is.
Yep.
It's not the first time you talk to someone. It's the follow-up and the follow-up and the follow-up.
Yeah.
That's your fortune right there.
So Glenda, you meet with me on a regular basis. We need to get you on our calendar somewhere. Just even if it's a call and a check-in. Just, and like I said, lean in, don't run. When you feel like this ain't working, this is a failure, I don't think I'm cut out for this, lean in harder.
Yes.
We'll talk you through this, because we're all a work in progress.
Well, I make a list. I keep a running list right beside my computer. What do I need coaching on? What do I need help with? What do I need to learn? And I bring it to our meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. Something, I don't know, request or suggest. Our meeting last week where we listened to you make your phone call. That is so much, scripts is fine.
Yeah.
Because I can BS my way through a lot of stuff. But
Sure.
listening to you make an actual phone call with the actual responses, that was really helpful. I don't know if it's possible to get 4 or 5 of you making, you make a phone call, we listen, we learn.
Put them on speakerphone.
Then you make a phone call, then you, and then Ryan, and then whoever. That really helped me
Because they're more care calls. Is that what you guys did?
We were making calls. It was just lead to con people we know in your database.
So they were more about care calls. They
It-
weren't about,
could be
hey,
care-
you're going to sell your house.
Well, it was care call, but it was, I offered a CMA.
Oh,
Hey, how
okay.
are you doing? Oh, that was the guy that was like, oh, he was traveling with his wife and they were out of town, but they were so happy to hear from me.
Yeah.
And so please come by, whatever.
Somebody could do a care call,
Yeah.
somebody could do a CMA call,
Yeah.
somebody could do
Mhm.
an ISBO, somebody could do an
Yeah.
Expire.
I think it'd be great.
That would just solidify, in my mind, I don't know about anybody else.
Mhm.
How does that, the script is fine. If I say this, you'll say this. Well, you
Mhm.
might not say this. So
Yeah.
just, off the
Mhm.
cuff,
Okay.
real,
Well, that's
Yeah,
good to know.
there is no cut and dry,
right.
but there's kind of a cut and dry.
There is,
Like
and-
there's some
And I
things we do.
really